Hello, everyone. My name is Jessie Ammons, and I am the instruction librarian for the College of Education and Human Services. I'm also the coordinator for our Education Materials Center at Polk Library, where we have a collection of K-12 grade books and curriculum kits. In this video, we'll be looking at the online resources that teachers use for text sets, ones that you will use for your assignment as well. We'll focus on how to critically examine the resources that you find online so that you're sharing the highest caliber materials with your future students. We all know that the internet is a vast depository for virtually everything. We're used to finding what we need at the touch of a button, but are we paying attention to the credibility and quality of what we consume online? For your text set assignment, you'll be looking for a variety of texts in different formats such as books, articles, websites, videos, etc. These texts will all focus on a certain topic, theme, or essential question. Text sets enrich your teaching in all disciplines, so you need to be mindful of what you choose. Generally, most students find a lot of their resources via Google. A little bit later, I'll give you some other good places to look, but let's talk about the kinds of educator materials you find in Google results. With a fairly general search, you'll find videos from places like YouTube or maybe TikTok, Wikipedia type entries, Pinterest pages, etc. If you throw in lesson plans or teacher materials to your search, you might find results from websites like Teachers Pay Teachers or places that have lesson plans. While most of these materials aren't inherently bad, you need to start honing your critical judgment about what is best for your classroom. As a side note, I will say that you should avoid Teachers Pay Teachers for many reasons that I'm not going to get into here. In general, these generic lesson plan templates or unit plans are basic, cookie cutter type lessons that are not usually best practice. Going a bit deeper, let's say you're doing a text set on genetics. Just from experience, I can tell you that Googling genetics and text set will mostly give you textbooks. I could try genetics and high school and articles or maybe videos. Taking a quick look at the results, there are probably some that you would find useful, and there are probably some that aren't the best. So how can you determine which ones will be the best for your text set? We're going to use a library tool that you may be familiar with called the CRAP test. This is a tool used for evaluating whether websites, articles, books are credible and reliable sources of information. Okay, but you might think the CRAP test helps people figure out whether things are giving true and unbiased information. How is this at all relevant for our text sets? First, like I mentioned earlier, you'll be looking for more than just books for your text sets. If you're finding resources through Google searches, you will find a lot of unreliable or incorrect information. Also, a lot of people assume that all of the resources on Google for teachers are created by teachers, which they are not. Even if the materials you find are created by teachers, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a perfect source for you. Will it work for your intended grade level or classes? Every student in class has different needs, and what works for one class may not work for another. Also, accuracy is not the only thing you're checking when you're finding resources. You're looking for high-quality resources that will enrich your students' understanding of the topic or inspire them to explore it further. Applying the CRAP test, but also using your personal understanding of your content area will help you find the best results. So let's break it down. The first part of the CRAP test is the C, which stands for currency. As you can probably guess, this is about the timeliness of the resource you found online. Here are some questions to consider for this one. Is the article, website, etc. older and possibly out of date? When was the website created and has it been maintained? For things like videos and websites, students may not be as motivated to watch or look at older materials. Also, some content areas require more up-to-date info than others. If you're in the STEM field, you will definitely want the majority of materials to be from the last 5 to 10 years. Okay, next up is R. This is the relevance of your resource. How does this book or article or whatever fit into the theme of your text set? What value does it add? Who is your intended audience, and is the content appropriate for your grade level? Of course, you'll want to include various levels of text difficulty for differentiation purposes, but the content may be geared more toward younger or older students. The first A is for authority, which is about the creator of the materials. Who is the author, publisher, or sponsor of this material? What authority do they have on this topic? Are they qualified to give information? Even if they're qualified in your discipline, do they have experience with educational materials? Does the author or company who created it have an agenda besides providing information? A quick tip is to check the About Me on the website for more information. The second A is for accuracy. Information you find supported by evidence or other independent sources? Has it been reviewed for accuracy? Does it contain any errors? Is the language unbiased? Finally, the P stands for purpose. This is different from the relevance because relevance is about your use of it. Purpose is about why the author created and published the material. Was it created to entertain or to sell? To persuade people to a specific point of view? Is that purpose clearly stated? Does the resource consider diverse and inclusive perspectives? Taken all together and considering your answers to all these questions, you'll need to make a judgment call about whether the materials you find will work for you. Choose them with purpose and think about your students, even if they're fictional students at this point. Since I've worked with students on this assignment for a few years, I do want to share a few tips. First, if you're having trouble finding resources, you might want to broaden your topic a little. Students tend to pick really narrow topics because they're used to choosing research topics, but this is a different kind of assignment. Make sure to stay on topic. Just because you find a cool resource that is tangentially related doesn't mean it will fit into this text set. Students often have a hard time choosing a tangible topic for text sets. Look at your standards and choose a topic that lends itself to one. We'll look at some examples in a minute. Finally, don't just choose fiction or nonfiction, look for both. One is not more important than the other, even with content areas like STEM or history. Okay, here are some examples from the past that didn't really work and the topics they could have used instead. First, for history, World War II as a topic is way too broad. While you are probably teaching about all of World War II as a whole, for the text set, you'll want to hone in on a specific part. You might try something like Japanese internment camps as a more specific topic instead. For a math example, something like linear equations will be difficult to fill a text set. You could try a topic instead like statistics and probability, which is one where you'll have real-world examples in texts. For science, a subject like stoichiometry is too specific, but you could try types of chemical reactions instead. Finally, for English, if you chose a grammatical topic like complex sentences, you probably won't find much to use, but you may want to choose themes in literature, like the American Dream. Also for English, make sure you go beyond just books. For the science and math areas especially, some students fall into the trap of just finding biographies, for example, an Isaac Newton biography for a force and motion text set. One may work, but more than one is too many. To end, I just want to show you a few places that you can look other than Google for some resources. The first is one that I think every pre-service teacher should be aware of. It's called BadgerLink. BadgerLink is a group of databases provided for all Wisconsin schools and public libraries by the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. You will have access to BadgerLink through your schools, and you have access now through the UW-Oshkosh Library's website. You can go there directly when you're on campus to see their databases, or through our website via our list of databases when you're off campus. If you look at their list of databases, it may seem overwhelming. The best places to start are Britannica, middle or high school, Explora for middle and high school, or the individual content area databases like History and Science Reference Center. These are all research databases specifically for K-12 students. This is not through BadgerLink, but on our website, you can find Flipster, which has magazine articles. There are magazines for various topic areas. For educational videos, Crash Course on YouTube is great for all of your content areas. TeachFlix is a curated, crowdsourced collection of educational videos from all over the internet. It's still on the newer side, so it may not have the most resources right now. Otherwise, you know your content area best, so check out all of the places you already know about. For books, you can try the EMC itself and the EMC website for various book lists. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I can also meet with you one-on-one to help. Good luck!